Today I'm going to share some tips and tricks with you guys on how you can add value to your house. You can add 20, 30, 40, or 50 or more $1,000s to the value of your house when you go to sell it. But those of you that are new to the channel, we're escaping the city and we are moving to our Hidden Valley homestead in Idaho. And I'm going to share with you the things that we did to get maximum value for this house when we sold it. As of right now, we only have a couple more days before we close escrow on this place. The first huge step for us getting out of the city and moving. So I'm going to share those things that we did with this house with you in just a second here. So let me take you for a quick little tour of the place and show you this house. Olivia and I bought this house 19 years ago, and it was a fixer-upper. This thing was destroyed, and what we have done to this place is the blood and sweat we have poured into it. As many of you know that have had your first house or a fixer-upper, you know what it takes. This driveway was a crumbling asphalt driveway that had to be torn out. There were big green evergreen bushes all over the place. The place had peeled paint all over the wood siding on this thing. The garage door was falling off. This place was an absolute dump. So I want to show you guys a few things that we did to our place, but let's talk about a few things first. So first of all, let's talk about timing. I'm a little bit on the anal side when it comes to research and whatnot, and you can never do enough research. I can always do more, but I had been looking at the market trends, and that's the first point that I wanted to share with you guys. As we all know what's going on with the interest rates right now in 2020, interest rates are at an all-time low. There is no better time to either buy a house or refinance what you have, which millions of people are doing across this country. So that is part of what's fueling the huge housing boom, at least down here in Southern California, as well as the rest of the country, are those low interest rates. It's definitely a seller's market because there is a small amount of inventory out there. So they're able to get top dollar for their house. So that, coupled with the large amount of people that are buying with the low interest rates and they're hungry for homes, they can get into a bigger, more expensive house for less of a payment, or the same payment that they had on their smaller, cheaper house. So timing is a lot. Watch the markets, watch the timing. As far as our house is concerned, we decided to sell now because with the election coming up, they were forecasting with a Trump presidency a 5% drop, and houses in this area are going anywhere between $550,000 to $700,000. If this house is worth $700,000, a 5% drop is $35,000 in equity that just goes away. So if a Biden-Harris ticket wins, they're forecasting a 13 to 25% drop in housing. There's got to be a market correction because the prices are overheated all over the place, right? So we said, you know what? The amount of money that we're saving, the amount of money that goes to our principal right now is about $500 of our payment. So if I rent for the next, because we're not ready to move out of California yet, we have about 9 months to go. 6 months for me. Olivia's going to finish her thing in 9 months at school. 6 months, even 9 months of rental is basically $4,500 of equity that I would lose by not paying for my house. $4,500 versus a potential to lose on the low side $35,000. The math just works out as a no-brainer. So we decided to sell now, take advantage of the high prices right now in the market to get the maximum dollar we could for our house, and rent until we're ready to move, because we're getting a few things in order before we moved to Idaho. So those of you that have followed along, check out some of the things that we've been doing. I bought a dozer for our road, so go check out that video. I'll leave at the end. You can click on that link. So timing is one thing. If you want to get the maximum dollar that you can for your house, watching the market trends and trying to time it is going to be tantamount for getting the top dollar for your house. Okay, so that's tip number one, is just be watching the markets and plan ahead. So we've been planning this move for a couple of years now, and the timing was just right for us to go and sell our place now versus wait till next spring. And then money-wise, the numbers worked out. So that's the first thing, is looking at the timing. Second thing, to get top dollar for your house, is let's talk about curb appeal. Okay, so We had remodeled this house and put a bunch of money into it, and we added a bathroom. That was one big thing for remodeling. But curb appeal. So this place had a asphalt driveway. We tore that asphalt driveway out. We put in a concrete driveway, and we did the stamped concrete, and then we did a stain to the top of it to give it that slate look. We chose our colors with a dark gray trim color with a real light gray stucco, and tied it all in. And then the very last thing that was taking me forever to get done, if you guys haven't seen that video, is how to build a planter. So I built a planter, and that was what finished off the front of the house. We put some flowers in there, some flowering bushes, and we tied that thing together. And of course we wanted to do a really good job of it, make it out of concrete, and it took a few weeks to complete this thing, but it came out really nice. And that was what really finished the curb appeal. Simple and clean. So curb appeal is a big deal. Take your time. Take the time to research colors and schemes. Go look at pictures. We've all been raised on a very thorough diet of flip or flop, or this old house, you know, renovation stuff on DIY TV ad nauseum, right? So there's a million of these different shows out there, and so we've all seen how it's done. Curb appeal, remodeling, adding this, adding that, shiplap, all of those things to give it max curb appeal. So definitely clean and simple seems to be the trend, the way to go right now. So we'll take a quick look around the house here, and I'll show you some other things that we did in the backyard. One thing that we did is we spent the money on a guy and hired a guy to come and paint. And he had done all of the trim work all the way up underneath the eaves. He painted the doors, painted the door jambs. Now we did build the patio cover and paint that. But then a backyard, something that's super clean. Nice trimmed lawn, nice trimmed trees. All of these things all come together. But nice clean trim all the way around. So doing your homework on what works, color schemes, trim, whatnot, it's time well spent on getting maximum appeal for your house. So curb appeal would be the first one. Number two is keeping things clean and trim. And as far as the interior goes, when we had showed the house, you know, we had the floors all nicely mopped. We had the fireplace ashes completely cleaned out. We touched up the paint on the fireplace spark arrestor grill. We had the carpet all nice and vacuumed. You can see I had to walk across here to open up the windows to get some light in here. And Olivia was like, "You're messing up my lines." She wanted to have the lines in the carpet so you could show people how new the carpet was. But all of the windows were polished clean. Everything was mopped and cleaned pretty much on a daily basis. So we have some friends that just sold their house, actually they're in escrow right now in La Mirada. They're also moving to northern Idaho, and that was one of her things she said to me. She goes, "Whatever you do, make sure you keep things clean." She goes, "But clean your windows." Nice, clean, sparkly windows are a huge selling point. It doesn't sound like much, but when you got nice, clean windows, they look fresh and clean versus dirty, dingy, spiderwebby, cobwebby, dusty everything. You walk into a house that looks all fresh and clean, it's just much more appealing to buy a house like that, to make it look interesting and make it look appealing to a buyer. Whereas, like when we walked into the place when we first bought it almost 20 years ago, it was the place. This whole place right here had seafoam green carpet, 1-inch shag seafoam green carpet, and there was a trail worn from the front door to the kitchen. It was horrendous. And that was all throughout the house. So when we bought the place, or when we were going to buy the place we were looking at, I had pulled up the edges of the carpet because I wanted hardwood floors. So these floors right here are 3/4 inch red oak parquet hardwood floors, and they were all in perfect shape. Now, we wanted hardwood floors because they're easy to take care of and maintain. That was another thing that we did. I've had these sanded and refinished a couple of times, and just recently, right after the remodel of this house, when we added the bathroom, I had these, my best friend Alan had him refinish these floors, and they came out beautiful. So a nice wood floor with a glassy looking coat on the top, it's all fresh. So basically, you got to put yourself in the shoes of whoever's going to be buying the house. If it looks fresh and clean and it's turnkey, and I always kind of was never quite understanding what turnkey really fully meant until I went to sell my own house. I think I worked on this house more in the last 3 months before we sold it than I have in the previous 3 years. I'm not kidding. Just fixing up little tiny things, a little bit of a trim here and there, a little bit of a paint job here and there, you know, putting a new outlet here or whatnot. Did a lot more work to this place than I expected to have to do to sell this house. But after you really want to clean it up, you want to make it pristine, that's what you got to do. So that was the third thing, was keeping the place clean. All right, maybe that was the second point. I forget. I'm losing track. Anyway, the fourth point, third or fourth point here. Another tip or trick that I would give you guys is, now this is not something that everybody can do. Now, if you have equity in your house, I would highly recommend that you leverage that equity. What we had done is we had done a cash out refi, and we took out some money to remodel the house. Now, we took that money and we added a bathroom as well as pushed the front door out, and we hired it, and we did it all with a permit because we knew that we'd want to sell that. Especially doing that kind of a structural change to a house like that, you need to make sure to do it correctly and properly with licensed, insured contractors, and you got to do it with a permit. So which we did. Now, we added that bathroom, so it became a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. That extra bathroom added probably about $10,000 to $15,000 to the value of the house. Easy. Well, we also did all of the windows and doors. We changed everything from single pane to double pane windows, all brand new windows and doors. We got rid of all the wood siding to make sure there was no termite damage on the side of the house. And we added brand new stucco and then refinished all the rest of the stucco. So it has a brand new coat of stucco, as well as a brand new roof. So all of those things, we spent probably $60,000 or more in the remodel itself. And the house was probably valued around $550 roughly before we did the remodel. That's kind of where the comps, when I say comps, that's the comparables, the houses in the neighborhood in this particular area. That's about what they were, the nice houses were valued at, in the low to mid fives. When we added that bathroom, we had the house appraised, and keep in mind this is 2 years ago. It appraised at $670,000. We added $120,000 in value to the house by doing the remodel. So not everybody can do that, and I understand that. And if you want to get maximum value for your house, and we weren't doing that at the time to sell the house, we were doing that because we were going to have Olivia's parents live with us, and which they did for a little while. So we needed the extra bathroom and we needed the extra room. We split up our master bedroom into 2. So we actually had 4 bedrooms and 2 full baths. Well, that worked out in our favor because once they moved on and we decided we were going to move out of state and get out of California, that actually added that much in value. We doubled our money. So not only were we getting all that money back that we spent, but we're getting some profit on top of that. So not everybody can do that, but you should seriously look at the equity that you have in your house, if you have any equity at all, and you want to sell. It's worth the money to upgrade and improve and maybe add that bathroom, because you're going to add a lot more value to that house. Now, if you just bought that house recently, you've already probably bought at the top of the market, and so that's going to be tricky to try and squeeze. If you spend $30,000 to say add a bathroom, it's going to be tricky to squeeze out another $30,000 or $40,000 out of that house if you've already spent at the top of the market. So definitely consult with your real estate agent. Consult with market analysts and see what their opinions are, and you're going to have to do a lot of number crunching and take a look at what you have. One of the big things that we did in this house was when we remodeled and did the bathrooms, we added a kitchen. They say that kitchens are the #1 seller. A bathroom is second, a kitchen is #1. So the only thing that we hadn't remodeled in this house was the kitchen and the original bathroom. Everything else has been freshly painted, new floors, new recessed lighting, all that good stuff. Here's the kitchen. So as you guys can see, there used to be, right here, there used to be a wall, and this used to be a little doorway. Well, we had taken that out a long time ago, and it was not a load-bearing wall. But all of those cabinets were old, and so we put in a brand new kitchen. We gutted this thing to the walls, put in all new outlets, new tile on the floor, new backsplash over here. We did new subway tile along the back right here. We put a brand new hood in over the stove. This was the original stove. It's a great stove. And then the owner decided, the people that are buying the house decided they wanted to keep the refrigerators. It's a nice stainless steel refrigerator, side by side. But all of these cabinets, I had my buddy help me. Actually, he was the one who recommended it to me. It was one of your do-it-yourself, basically, cabinet shops. Now, we purchased these cabinets, and they were all in boxes. And we went to their design center, and she helped us design which cabinets would go where around the dishwasher. We bought a brand new farmhouse sink, stainless steel. But all of these cabinets, as well as the quartz, came from a place. It was an import. And these things came in a box. We assembled all of these cabinets, glued and screwed and tack nailed them all together, and then we hung them. And then we did all the trim on this thing. So my buddy that does Hardwood Floors and kitchens and remodels stuff, he helped me do all this stuff. And we saved a ton of money by doing it ourselves. So the kitchen was definitely something with the quartz countertops. Quartz is like the easiest stuff to put in. By putting all that stuff in, that really helped sell the house. I think all in all, I think we spent about, between the labor on the quartz countertop installers, paying my buddy Alan, as well as the materials, I think we were probably into it for about $9,000 between cabinets, quartz, tile, and their labor, which is actually pretty darn cheap. If any of you have done a kitchen, and if you guys have priced them out, you know that kitchens can go anywhere from $15,000 to $30,000 or more. We know people that have spent $50,000 to $100,000 on a kitchen. So it's a super clean kitchen. It opened it up the way we configured it. It just came out great. So if you have the time and the money to do it, DIY, there's a million YouTube videos out there on how to do a lot of this stuff yourself. I built the planner in front. I watched a bunch of YouTube videos on how to do it, make sure I knew what I was doing. I've done concrete and tile before, so I knew what to do and how to mix it up. But a lot of the stuff is DIY. Especially if you're a homesteader, you're off-gridder, you're more than capable of doing this kind of stuff. You've already done it once or twice. So, but if those of you that are trying to escape the city, there's a million ways to get it done, and there's a million things you can do to actually freshen up a house. So to kind of recap, I guess there was 3 points there. Your curb appeal. You got to maximize your curb appeal with keeping things clean and fresh and tidy. Declutter everything. Making sure your paint schemes and everything kind of goes together and it all blends. Paint things. Get rid of the peeling paint. Get rid of the cobwebs. Mow your lawn, for crying out loud. Trim your trees. Number 2 is keeping it clean. The curb appeal from the street, but as well as the inside, making sure everything is polished up and keeping your windows clean. The first one was timing. That's right. We're talking about the timing and making sure your market is right. And then the last thing is add that bathroom if you can, if you have the money to do it. If you can't, you go with what you have and you clean it up and you freshen it up and you paint it and then you replace anything that's damaged, and it's a lot of work. But we were able to sell, and we got 3 offers within 3 days, and they were all full price offers of what we were asking for the house. And we should be closing escrow in just another day or two. So guys, between the timing of the market right now and just with all the work that we put into this, and those of you that know us know this is kind of we've been a little bit MIA in the last month because we've been going through this whole remodel process, and and cleaning this place up and all the work that we put into it. And I've got a couple videos of it. You guys have, I already put the planner video out there. I have the kitchen remodel video I'm going to be putting out. But we'll be closing here, we're hoping Tuesday or Wednesday of this week. And then we're going to be moving to Idaho in about 6 to 9 months. So you guys stay tuned for that, for all those videos coming out. I bought a dozer for our property. Some of you have already seen that. I'm going to be showcasing that, as well as the work I'm going to be putting into our road up there. And don't be afraid to try it, guys. Don't be afraid to try some of these DIY projects on your own, because you can totally do it. Stay in a Holiday Inn if you have to, and then watch a YouTube video as the commercials go, right? You can do anything. So guys, thanks for watching. I hope some of those tips helped. If anything, just to encourage you to try and tackle it. You can do whatever you set your mind to, and go out there and get top dollar and get the heck out of the city like millions of other people are doing. So we'll see you guys on the next video. Thanks for watching.